Manchester United have signed Joshua Zirkzee, who is one of the most technical centre forwards in the world. He has the ability to come towards the ball, pick up the ball in deeper areas, but his IQ, his reading of the game, his ability to scan and play those balls forward into wingers, play the ball forward into runners running ahead of him is exactly what sort of suits the profile of players we have at Manchester United. We're not a team that creates service for Hojlund. We're not a creative team. We lack technical players, but we have runners. We have people that quit, that run on ahead. Rashford, Garnacho, Bruno and Mount like to pass and move ahead of their runners. And Joshua Zirkzee is the kind of player that if he can adapt to the Premier League, can facilitate that. He can do that because you see here, Joshua Zirkzee gets the ball, he picks up the ball, he plays a brilliant pass, plays his player through on goal, boom. And that's what Joshua Zirkzee is about. That is what Joshua Zirkzee does, and that is exactly what Joshua Zirkzee would bring to Manchester United. So hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and we're going to break down why Joshua Zirkzee is the perfect signing for United, and actually why he can even play with Rasmus Hojlund. I think Rasmus Hojlund is a brilliant player, and I think Joshua Zirkzee is a brilliant player, but they're brilliant in different ways. They're two different profiles, so they could play together, but also they can allow Ten Hag to be really tactically versatile with the type of centre forward he wants. Firmino player in Zirkzee, Haaland player in Hojlund. Not saying they're as good as Firmino in his prime and Haaland in his prime, but you look at the different profiles of player. Now, as you can see, here we go. It's a done deal. And it was also said that United likes Zirkzee because they think he can complement Zirkzee and be more than just a number 9. Because United have spent a lot of money on Hojlund, and Hojlund has the ability to be a 30-goal striker. Zirkzee, I don't think he's ever going to be a 30-goal a season striker, but he has the ability to make Man United score 30 more goals a season. And I think Zirkzee is the type of player that can improve all the players around him, whereas Hojlund could get 30 goals a season with the service, with Hojlund's potential. But they're two players that can develop together at United, two long-term projects that can also play together, and you can give Ten Hag tactical versatility. Now, I highlighted this on my video in the United breakdown, but I said that, this is the XG for every Premier League player. Haaland is first with 31 XG, Isak second with 22 XG. Look how much higher Haaland's XG is compared to anyone else's, because Man City create. If you look at the XG of all these players, okay, these are the 10 to 20, these are 20 to 30. Hojlund's even in the top 30 for XG. He ranked 32nd for XG and 9. He got an XG of 10. He ranked 20th for goals. He actually had best performed his XG and had one of the best conversion rates in the league. If you give Hojlund service, he will score. But we're not a team that's creating service, and we missed out on Elise. The winger market's looking slim. So with Joshua Zirkzee, you've got a player that doesn't need service to influence a game. Hojlund, he likes the ball to feet, he likes to score, he likes the ball played ahead of him, but he's in a graveyard shift. Joshua Zirkzee is someone that does a little bit more and drops a little bit deeper and has a bit more influence in all-round play, but maybe it doesn't have the goal-scoring abilities Hojlund could have. So they're almost two players that offer very different things, but could be just as good as each other. Now, I've seen a lot of people, thinking that Zirkzee is the end of Hojlund, and that is not the case. And this is something I said about Hojlund last week when people were giving Hojlund stick because he didn't have the best Euros. Bear in mind, has Kane been brilliant in the Euros? Has Sesko been brilliant in the Euros? No, I think it's crazy to judge players off a Euro tournament, but I said I don't understand how some fans are thinking Hojlund isn't good enough because of the Euros. If you watched him play last season, you would know his qualities. He scored 16 goals at age 20, which is only one less than Nicholas Jackson, who had a much higher XG created for him, as I said earlier, nearly double. No player under age 21 or under had more PL goals or assists than him last season. He showcased his class as UCL top scorer in the group stage, and despite receiving almost no service in it, playing for a poor, unsustainable size system, he still scored 16 goals. He was signed off the back of a 9-goal season as a 19-20-year-old prospect. He is raw, a prospect, and the kid still has room for improvement, but I think people are forgetting he's a kid. He also, I think, ranked in the top 3 Euro qualifier goal scorers. You know that Hojlund has it in him, and Hojlund has the potential to have it in him. But we can't just chuck Hojlund in the deep end, expect him to play every game and wear him down, which we did a little bit. We saw the 2 games at the end of the season where he came off the bench. He scored in both of those games. Even the cup final where he didn't score, he had a really good game. He's a young player. The pressure of Manchester United, I think he did well. So what Zirkzee brings is, first of all, that rotation option with Rasmus Hojlund to help with his development. But also, as I've said, a very different profile centre forward. Hojlund is more like Sesko, more like Haaland, needs service. Zirkzee has elements of what Kane does. Zirkzee is very similar to Matthias Cunha, who was a big United target. João Pedro of Brighton. Elements of, I would say João Felix, but Firmino, when Firmino facilitated Mane and Salah. Garnacho and Rashford are predominantly goal scorers over creators. Garnacho's improved creativity because he's on the right, but they're more goal scorers than creators, like Salah, like Mane was for Liverpool. Liverpool won the league and won the Champions League with those kind of wingers. They didn't create much for Firmino, They can create, but they didn't create much for Firmino, but they scored a lot of goals because Firmino was the guy that allowed them to score the goals. And that would be more like Zirkzee. Zirkzee is someone that can drop deep, or not necessarily drop deep, but he likes the ball to feet. He comes towards the ball. He uses his body quite well to drag away from defenders. He's very good at finding space, and he's very good at also creating space with his movement. He's very clever, very technical as well. Whereas Hojlund likes the ball to feet, ball in behind him. Hojlund likes to run onto the ball in front of him. He likes to run the ball, run the channels, ball to feet. Hojlund's quicker. Hojlund's going to be better in transition. But Zirkzee, if he can adapt to the physicality of the Premier League, can create space, can improve the team around him. Because when Zirkzee gets the ball, and I'm going to show you some more examples of that, when people run ahead of him, that's when he'll play the ball forward. And we've got players off the ball, Rashford, Bruno, Mount, Garnacho, that all like to make runs ahead. And Zirkzee's got the passing ability to find that out. And that's what Martial was so good at doing when he was actually good for United. And that's what brought the best out of Rashford. So Zirkzee has the attributes to do that if he can replicate it in the league. He can improve the players around him. But again, like Hojlund, he's also very hardworking. He's an elite presser. He's got the mentality. He's young. He's a long-term project. We're not signing 30-year-old strikers anymore, so we're going to have to replace them every 2 years. We're signing modern strikers that suit the long-term game. This is a long-term project. So how could Man United look next season? Well, I think it could look like this if we don't sign a winger with Zirkzee, Garnacho, Rashford, Bruno, Maino, Ugarte, De Ligt, assuming they come in. But potentially, we could see, McTominay did that role where Bruno dropped a bit deeper. And I'm not the biggest fan of Bruno dropping a bit deeper, but I guess against low blocks, it could work. And Zirkzee could do the McTominay role, but again, very different to McTominay. McTominay's role was more box crashing and what he did off the ball. And Zirkzee has the IQ and a positional awareness to do the movement McTominay did off the ball. But Zirkzee could actually be someone that can contribute on the ball, which was something McTominay lacked a little bit as well. Potentially, he could do that and play with Rasmus Hojlund. Now, I'm going to show you examples of what Zirkzee does. Here is an example of Zirkzee coming towards the ball with his back to goal. He picks up the ball with his back to goal. And again, his decision-making IQ, technical ability to execute a pass with the right weight and play in the swinger is fantastic. And that is why I started to tweet about Zirkzee. I did the tweet breaking down what I think he's the most perfect signing for United. I said he's one of the most technical centre-forwards in football, possessing elite link-up play, IQ, decision-making, has attributes to significantly improve the Man United players around him, whether it's linking up with technical players like Maino and Phil Foden linked up so well yesterday for England. Zirkzee has the ability to do that because we lack technical players. Or maybe it's facilitating runners because get the ball, run ahead of him, he can pick out that pass. Ten Hag likes to play a transitional approach. When you have Garnacho, you have Rashford, it could work well. And Zirkzee's ability could influence playing. He's a different player to Hojlund, as said, and because he's a different player to Hojlund, Ten Hag's got two options at centre forward, or we can play them together, which can make Man United less predictable and give Ten Hag a tactical advantage. I think that is another key point. And then, of course, the project. £40 million. Man United need two centre-backs. They need two midfielders, in my opinion, probably a backup left-back, and I'd even argue another winger. That's 7 signings. 6 is a bit more realistic. So we can't afford to spend £100 million on Victor Osimhen, especially when we spent so much money on Rasmus Hojlund last year. We should be focusing on developing Rasmus Hojlund, so maybe bringing in someone that can play with Rasmus Hojlund and Zirkzee can do that. We don't want to spend more than £40 million on the striker position when we spent so much money last year, and we still believe Hojlund's going to be a great player. So Zirkzee, for the price, fits the project. For the age, fits the project. For his hard-workingness, fits the project. For Ten Hag liking him, for Ineos liking him, fits the project. It's no more short-term solutions. It was a clever. And having him and having Hojlund, I think then you can form a good development plan. Arsenal were looking at this guy, and Arsenal, are looking to win the league next season. I don't think he's a bad player. There's question marks about how he uses his physicality and speed in the Premier League, but there's a good player there. He can get the ball here, he can play players in. You can get the ball here, you can play players in, as you can see. He can run and chase the ball down, put in a really good cross. He has the ball, he plays a good pass. He dribbles with the ball, then plays a good pass forward. He has the ball here after another good dribble, plays this guy in there. That could be Luke Shaw, that could be Rashford. Gets the ball here, like Rashford and Martial, you see these quick 1-2s. Zirkzee, 1-2, plays the ball back, plays this guy in. Obviously, he misses it, like Rashford and Martial did. Zirkzee gets the ball here. He's very good at holding the ball, waiting for runners to catch up with him. Plays a really good pass in there, which could have been Rashford. Zirkzee comes a little bit deeper than the winger to get the ball. When he gets the ball, he plays in the winger. Zirkzee, he likes to have the ball in transition. He's very comfortable at dribbling. Here's a transition opportunity. Ten Hag wants to play a transition approach. Zirkzee dribbles past one, carries the ball at the pitch, then plays a really good pass into the winger. Here's another example. Man United players, a bit selfish in front of goal. Zirkzee's got good ball striking. Zirkzee's conversion rate is actually really good for a striker who doesn't have maybe the best goal scoring numbers. Zirkzee gets the ball here. You think, okay, he's going to shoot. No, he plays in this guy. He plays in this guy here, misses, but he should have scored. Here's another example. Zirkzee with the ball. Could be selfish, could run at players. Plays in this guy through on goal. Marcus Rashford. When you think about Marcus Rashford last season, or the season before technically, when he scored 30 goals, you know that Marcus Rashford is a good player. And Zirkzee, with playing balls in like that to Marcus Rashford, he could have a very good season. Even Garnacho. Look at these balls from Zirkzee and behind. Absolutely fantastic stuff from Joshua Zirkzee. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And you compare him to Rasmus Hojlund. Hojlund is a goal scorer. Give Hojlund service, he'll score. But if we're not giving Hojlund service, we need someone that's going to influence all-round play. And you get that in Joshua Zirkzee. Thank you for watching today's video. Hope you enjoyed. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. See you next time. Bye.